I'm talking to my diary. Talking to my diary. I'm talking to my diary. I'm talking to my diary.
Today is November 3rd, 2023. I was born on November 3rd, 1976. So today is my 47th birthday. It is 7:15 a.m. on Friday, November 3rd, 2023. I thought I would talk to my diary a little bit. I was thinking about the decades of my life, starting with my 20s specifically. In my 20s, my number one desire, my greatest longing, was freedom. I wanted to be on my own. I wanted to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it, eat what I wanted to eat when I wanted to eat it, set my own schedule. I wanted to be free. In my 20s, I did. I went off to grad school, lived in Southern California. 3 years into my 20s, I got married. My wife and I did not have children until I was in my 30s. I was 32 when our daughter was born. So for that 9-year period of time, all of my 20s really, we were free. We were free to go get boba at 1 o'clock in the morning. We were free to drive to LA or San Luis Obispo or Morro Bay, where my wife's sister lived, at any time. Get away for a couple days. Go to Hawaii. We were free. We were spontaneous. We enjoyed our 20s. But in my 30s, I started to long for something different, something more. In my 30s, I started to long for success. I wanted to accomplish some things. I wanted to fulfill my destiny. And I not only wanted success, but I wanted notoriety, if you will. I wanted to be known. I wanted to be notable. I wanted the world to see my gifts. I wanted to be excellent, and I wanted the world to see how excellent I was. I wanted to succeed, and I was so thirsty for success. But this is why my 30s were such a frustrating decade for me, because I had very little success, at least in my own eyes. Very little success. By the time I hit 40, I had this deep sense of failure, this midlife crisis, really, where I felt like everything I had set out to do, I had failed. I used to have this recurring dream where I was standing in front of my own grave, and the moniker read, "Here lies Benjamin Robinson, a man full of greatness, yet who lacked the discipline ever to become great." And I'd wake up in a cold sweat. So in my 40s, I began to realize that my lack of success was the fruit of a lack of discipline. And so a new longing took root in my 40s. It was the longing to be disciplined. Discipline is really difficult when you've got ADHD. It took me a long time to realize I got that too. Combination ADHD and Enneagram 7. When you have an Enneagram 7 who's got ADHD, thoughts bounce around my head like monkeys in a banana tree. Ideas bounce around my head, ricocheting everywhere. And what I began to realize as I came into my mid-40s is that I have learned a certain degree of discipline. But the discipline I've learned has given me the ability to focus on and accomplish the smaller things. I can write and record songs. I got a lot of music in the hopper here. It's coming right along. It's given me the ability to sit down and record videos. I didn't start my YouTube channel until I was around 40 years old. My first YouTube channel, this is my second one. It's perfect for me as a pastor because I can prepare weekly sermons. I've done that very well, I think, for the last 20 years. Coming up on 20 years here in January. It's going to be our 20-year anniversary. I'm excited about that. But where I've lacked discipline is discipline for the bigger things. And that's been the frustration as I've come now towards my late 40s, is realizing that, yes, I've learned some discipline in my 40s. I've learned some wisdom in my 40s. But my discipline has skipped the big things and been applied almost exclusively to the small things. And every time I sit down to discipline myself, to build momentum around a big thing, I have this nagging feeling that I'm not doing the right thing, that this isn't the right big thing, that I shouldn't be working on this big thing, that I should be working on some other big thing. And there's this war in my heart. There's this constant accusation, no matter what I do, that I should be doing something else. And there's guilt and there's shame associated with work. I have so many books in me. And, it's crazy. I was at my dad's house yesterday. My dad and his older sister, my aunt, my dad's older sister, is staying at my parents' house for a little while. And I go over there one day a week just to spend time with my dad and help him around the house. It's been just so much joy, and I enjoy it so much. And yesterday I was over there and I was talking to my dad and my aunt, and I forget what we were talking about, but it stimulated. I said, oh yeah, I've got a TV idea about that. One of my characters, his name is Zion Reed, and I started telling them all about Zion Reed. And at first, I could see the look on my dad's face. He's like, oh, okay. But as I started to get into the story, I could just see my dad going, huh. And my aunt was going, oh, wow. And I could see that they were like really digging the story, like, wow, this is great. And so I get engrossed in the story, and all of these details are coming, and the story's pouring out of me. And finally, my aunt says, Benjamin, have you written this down anywhere? And I said, no, 2 full seasons live in my head, but I can't seem to get it down on paper. And when I left that day, I'm in the car and I'm thinking, why can I not seem to get this down on paper? And I realized in the car, what dawned on me is, it's because I have not learned yet in my life how to build momentum around big things. I build momentum around little things. And I kept thinking of, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, the big stones. You always put the big stones in first. Build momentum around the big stones. Do the big stones early in the day. Make that the first thing that you do. And then fill in the rest of the day with the little stones. You got to get to the little stones, but make them last. So that was, I was like, okay, that's true. I got to do that. But it just didn't feel like the heart of the matter. And then yesterday afternoon, I had this realization. And the realization was, whenever I sit down to work on one of the big stones, my heart and mind become full of accusation. This isn't the right big stone. You shouldn't be working on this. This isn't it. And that accusation shuts me down, silences me, and stops me in my tracks. So I told you, I think I told you in a previous video that I don't know if I told you or not, but I have this night meditation and this day meditation. The night meditation is, it is finished. This is how I go to sleep at night, because otherwise my brain won't stop. So I lay down on the bed and I say, it is finished. John 19:33, I think it is, where Jesus, or Matthew 19:33. Anyway, it's in there. On the cross, Jesus says, it is finished, bows his head and gives up the ghost. So that's my nightly routine. I lay down on my bed, I say, it is finished, I bow my head and I give up the ghost. I surrender to God. That's how I get to sleep at night. That's my meditation. It is finished. It's giving my brain permission to just rest. Everything you needed to do today is done. And anything that you didn't get done is covered. So it is finished. Go to sleep. But my morning meditation is, it is good. It is good. That's where I find my energy in the morning. That and my coffee. I started to use my morning meditation in the afternoon yesterday when I had this realization. It is good. It is good. This is how I will now respond to the angst, the shame, the accusations in my own heart. It is good. No matter what I work on, it is good. It is good. So I say all that to say my resolution for this 48th year of my life, from this day, my 47th birthday, is to overcome the shame and accusation around the big things. To find the freedom to build momentum around the big things. To build momentum around the big things. Daily momentum around the big things. That's my goal for this year. But the one thing I can say, and that I'm most thankful for and most proud of as a 47-year-old man, is that my wife and I have been married for 23 years and we are more in love today than we have ever been. I can honestly say that. I love her more today than I have ever loved her. And she loves me more today than she could ever love me. And we have more understanding for each other and affection for each other, patience with each other, understanding of each other, thankfulness for each other than we've ever had. And my daughter is 14 years old. I could not be more thankful for my family. The Lord told me when my daughter was born that she will be a joy and a delight to you all of the days of your life. And she has been a joy and a delight to me every day since she was born. And so even if I never accomplish one of the big things, I got the biggest thing. I've got the greatest thing. I mean, I may fail in 1,000 different areas, but I don't fail in this one. I don't fail in this one. So, I'm thankful to God today. I'm thankful to God today. And I just wanted to encourage each and every one of you. Take the time to self-reflect. What's your life going to be about? Take the time to self-reflect. All right, I've got to take my little one to school now. Have a wonderful day. May the joy of the Lord be your strength and may his favor be your shield.
I'm talking to my diary. Talking to my diary. I'm 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 talking to my diary.